Hello there, everyone. This is Soul17 here. Thank you for like usual. I made the thumbnail. I don't want the pictures though. This is not a paid video. Alright, okay. So, finally, I think I figured out how to get this story done. Well, part, at least. Not story. I don't know what's wrong with me. Well, I haven't been sleeping well lately, but that's besides the point. Anyways, so, this is what if Asta was the reincarnation of Dracula. How this is gonna go is a little bit of, I gotta say, Dracula is Asta, from the Netflix series. So, I know it's still going on, but what I remember is, or should I say, when I watched it, Alucard was killed by his father. Not Alucard was killed. Sorry, I'm mixing up with Alucard, Dracula from Helsing. Alucard killed Dracula. Oh, help with a Belmont. But that does not mean I am not going to combine. I am not going to combine some things from different, from the other Castlevania series. What I mean by that is, I like the game Castlevania, the Lord of Shadow version. So in this one, we're kind of gonna have some elements put into it. And there are some vampires in this series, but I'm also giving it some more of a, how can I say this? I'm gonna give it of a Code Vein / Castlevania style. Imagine that. One with vampire, one with, werewolves and other different creatures, and, you play as a freaking vampire. I just call it a straight up vampire, because you have to consume blood, so. Yeah. So anyways, how it's gonna work is, after everything happens in Castlevania, the Netflix series, Dracula dies. And we're just gonna go to when he's like, a kid and stuff. More like 2 months before he gets a Grimoire, No, it should be around 5 months. Give him enough time to train. Well, 5 months until he gets a Grimoire. But he trained like crazy. The problem is, though, is this. Because Dracula commits so much bad in the world, this is kind of his punishment. He can go back to double hockey sticks, aka hell, but no, God thought of a better thing, to send him into a different dimension to never be revived again. So Dracula never gets revived. Yeah. So, that's his punishment. He lives a life with no magic. He has no of his abilities. They are still away, but they are highly weakened. But God knew there were vampires in this world, along with werewolves, different creatures of the night that people feared, ghouls and goblins. Another reference I know, but ghouls, basically, in general. So, that's the world they put, Dracula in. And so, if you have one powers he will have, super strength, super speed, blood manipulation. Hold on, I gotta get my food. Alright, sorry, have my dinner in my room. I may have to pause and eat it, so I can have work soon, but, eating one, it's not good, sometimes. But anyway, so I was saying, his blood manipulation, infinite stamina, that's one thing that's not going to change. And maybe some summoning later on in life. But I am going to give him few abilities that you're going to find out. Is he going to... And also, I may be thinking of giving him something like a system, but to tell him what he can do. Like, show abilities, skills. Alright? That's all. Oh, he does have since he was born human, and he was already a vampire in his past life, his vampire abilities were sealed away inside of him. He gained a resistance to the sun. And, well, he also has a resistance to holy water, but it still affects him. It just doesn't burn him, but it weakens him. Alright? anything else that would affect him won't. So yeah. Anyways, let's get on to this video. This is What If Asta was the reincarnation of Dracula. Part 1. Okay. So as Ray explained, when Dracula dies finally, God told him, "For your great evil you have caused to this world, you have been brought back from the dead multiple times, Dracula. So, it pains me to say this, but I'll have to bring you into a different world / dimension altogether." And Dracula understood. I mean, like in the canon, Castlevania series, he was tired. Just tired. So, that's what he is in this one. He wants to have a new life, a new change. And he says he hopes he can repent for his sins. Because his wife may have some choice words. Oh, by the way, his wife also gets reincarnated too into the Black Clover universe. I already decided who the shit will be. Family issues herself. One who cannot, shoot a magical water. I'm joking. Or am I? You guys can decide on that one. Anyway, so basically he gets told his vampiric abilities will be limited. He won't. If I remember correctly, I think Dracula in that one did have some blood manipulation, but if not, then I said it was gonna come out of a code vein. So yeah, let's just say good. Just in case there isn't. Actually, I'm looking at it right now. Okay. Yeah, a lot more abilities. I only remember what I saw from the show. So I guess Bloodstorm. Okay, so basically, though, half of his abilities will be nerfed since he's in a different dimension, like his castle. So I'm gonna say is the Infinite Night would be anywhere he, summons. Basically, just dark clouds will be formed, hellfire, bloody rain. So that's why I said blood manipulation. He's able to drain blood and still. But anyways, so just know half of his abilities will be gone, but because of this, because I'm combined with code vein, sort of way style of clothing he's gonna wear. I mean, he is gonna have matter manipulation, dark, magic ability, still hellfire, all the stuff that is gonna make him good, like transformations. That's gonna still happen. Bat wings, that's still gonna happen. Summon an army, that's gonna happen. But that's gonna be later on. But just know, yeah. So anyways, so basically, when Asta's born, he gets everything sealed away. He's 100% human. And then, well, after many, many years, Asta's training. He's just, saying like, he's just training his ass off because, that's how Asta is. He doesn't stop training. And let's just say, right about this time, though, after he reached the number he wanted, he gets back up and goes, "Whew, that was a good workout." Anyways, it's dark. I hope Father and Sister Lily don't get mad at me. Oh crap, I'm gonna miss dinner! As he's just running back. So, when Asta's running back, he hears some people screaming. So Asta runs over to where the scream is, as then he sees someone in a cloak just stabbing their hand through someone's heart, as everyone just saying, "Please, please, spare me." His Grimoire is out. This is just a runaway of a Magic Knight guild. There was Asta sees 10 people dead, and this guy's the 11th. Hold on, I'm about to sneeze. Sorry. Alright. Sorry. Anyways, so this guy who's in the cloak says, "Oh, I don't like to drink blood of bandits, but..." As he just hears the sound of someone licking. I mean, he can't hear it, but pretend the vampire's licking his lips right in front of the guy. The guy's hearing it. He goes, "But I wonder how good your blood tastes." As the vampire basically jumps onto the guy, holding his neck out so that when he bites into it. And the guy is screaming for help. Asta runs over, after grabbing a stick and saying, "Hey, get the hell off of him!" And then he smacks it and it breaks. As the guy just dies though, but he kind of is glad that he knew someone tried to help him, even was someone like him. So yeah. So when the vampire is done, he goes, "Oh, a witness." I wonder. As he does slash Asta's neck, well not neck, I mean cheek, and then he basically licks his finger, and there's of Asta's blood was. He goes, "Yes, I could use another subordinate to my ranks. You'll be the third." He goes, "Wait, what the hell you mean?" He was like, "No matter." As in the Grimoire appears, and he goes, "Vampiric magic. Vampire transformation." As the guy just does bite down on Asta's shoulder, and it does start, something happened to Asta. His veins start to glow over his body, as in he's screaming out in pain. As the guy's saying, "It'll only hurt for a couple of minutes if you can survive, that is. If not, then you'll die eternal pain." As he does bring Asta over to a shade area that will be in the sun. He says, "I'll be back in about 4 to 5 hours. See you then, kid." As this was near Hodge Village, but Asta knows where the guy is going, and he's just fighting from the pain getting up. But so many memories are coming back to him. He doesn't get it, but it doesn't matter. But he just remembered the name Dracula that keeps popping up in a woman. He doesn't know why, but it just irritates him. So as this man, walking towards Hodgeville, he goes, "Wait, where are you going?" Just because of the pain, basically. Is the guy just says, "I'm gonna kill all those villagers. It'll be quite a snack, and, well, maybe I can grab their blood for you." As Oscar's eyes widen, as he goes, he's getting up, basically saying this, "Won't let you hurt them. Not by a long shot. What the hell's happened to me?" Basically. As the vampire shot that Asta can't even stand. And in this split second, when God is watching, he just chuckles at this a little. He just goes, "Dracula, you've made a family, friends, and you're willing to protect them. Remember everything. You're transforming into one. I'd rather you remember everything that you were doing, or should I say did." And then when God snaps his fingers, boom. Whole entire shit happens to Asta. Memories flowing back, abilities are awakening, his skin gets not pale, it has to, but it's only a little, he was tan, I think, so he gets a little white, a little bit paler, but that's it. Only like a slight difference. His eyes glow red now, and his hair is staying the same. I'm not giving him the full-on Dracula look, but he does have his ears at a point, kind. Just a slight change. As the vampire knows that Asta is starting to shrink down, muscle-wise, so his muscles are condensing down, as Asta just getting up like nothing. He feels different. He feels stronger. He goes, "I won't let you hurt my family. My new family. Come at me, vampire. Show me what you're made of." As when this vampire, he sees us as taunting him, he's thinking, how the, doesn't matter. He's only a weakling. As he does dash at Asta's pure speed, he just looks at him, like he's just seeing him. And all of a sudden, when this vampire is starting to attack Asta with his bare hand, it goes right through, and turns out Asta just turned into a swarm of bats. Which, yes, these vampires have magic abilities with grimoires, And yes, his magic abilities is, around. So basically, Asta turns into a swarm of bats, and all of a sudden the vampire was like, who are you? How do you have that ability already? You've had a grimoire. As the bats are just flying around and stuff, as it just hears, I never needed a grimoire to make this happen. Now then, as Asta appears in a blinking of eye and just punches him in the face, and then all of a sudden he just has fire in his hand. He goes, Hellfire! And, shoots it at the vampire. And when it does hit him, because he was flying midair, the Grimoire was opened up just so he can, transform into a magic, into a bat. But the Hellfire hit the book, also hitting him, burning him alive. He's burning faster than the book for some reason. As Asta just looking at the vampire that's dying, he goes, who are you to even call yourself a vampire? You're weak compared to me. Yeah, I'm kind of giving this, him, looking down this vampire, because, one, to him, vampires that he knew were a lot stronger than this one. Compared to Castlevania, this vampire is way weaker. So, yeah, it was like a human to him. As he's like, oh, are you? And he just, since Dracula was never in this world, he just says, Dracula. My name is Dracula. Remember that in hell. As the vampire is dying off, the grimoire opens up. And for some rare reason, not a cloak, but you know how when they have those, okay, just trying to say, when you have those special things on your gear that you used in Code Vein to basically, if you hold Pacific button, they basically will have one part of your body, like your arm and such, transform, then you just lunge at the guy or monster or whatever, and just get more, freak. I have not played Code Vein in a while, so you gotta forgive me. Just get some more ammo to use your special abilities. Yeah, so basically he gets something like that, but it goes over his shoulder and down his arm. As Asta just sees it fall, the grimoire opens as then it just pops out. And Asta basically picks it up and he goes, he was already dead and yet his grimoire opened up a page and let this fall out of it. I guess vampire grimoires are different from humans. And then he puts it on and yet his appearance changes. That's normal. Even his voice goes back. He was like, I guess I should be grateful to the grimoire at least. Thank you. He bows to the ashes of the grimoire and does make a hole and bury it. I mean, why not? Even the vampire. So yeah, he just starts burying the bodies, at least. And, well, then something happens. A glowing light happens from these ashes. And he doesn't know it since he's burying the body. And these ashes suddenly just fly upwards to the air and go straight towards the magic, the Grimoire ceremony, not magic, but the Grimoire ceremony. Which, since it's, since the old man who guards the Grimoires are there, he knows this is happening. It just flies past him, goes over to where the anti-magic Grimoire is, and starts covering it. Which the anti-magic devil doesn't understand what's happening, but it just the Grimoire looks different. It looks more different. You see, in this world, there is a fifth Grimoire, represents of a devil, but in this world, there is a sixth Clover, representative of a vampire. Now, yes, it is a fifth Clover, but then it turns to a sixth, which even the anti-magic devil is shocked, as whoever was in the old Grimoire was actually another entity that lives inside with, the Grimoires of vampires could talk in this one. So he just goes, this person says, hello there. And yeah, he was like, who are you? Anti-magic devil was saying, and he was like, oh, well, my last master was killed by a boy named Dracula. But since he was so kind to me and buried me after I gave him something to help him out, I figured, why not find a Grimoire that he's going to, well, be a part of? And the girl was like, huh? He was like, well, how can I say this to you? What are you anyways? A devil. It's like, okay, devil. So, how can I say this? I am a kind of like a spirit almost, but only similar to vampires. Like I said, he killed my master, and while I was burning away to ashes, I saw the future. One of my abilities. Every vampire has the ability to see the future somewhat, but it's only for like instances of traps or attacks. But the grimoires themselves of vampires are allowed to see the future completely, and I saw he was my next master. So I decided to find the book that I was gonna be a part of, and this is it. So I shared the grimoire with you. And Anti-Magic was like, you gotta be kidding me. This is gonna be a pain in my ass. She goes, come on, I know we can be great friends. And he's like, sure, whatever, kid. I'm not a kid. She goes, it's called shape-shifting, as, she shape-shifts into an older woman. Yeah, it's a woman, basically. She just says, how's this? It was like, whatever. Just whatever. So, yeah. So, basically, Asta gets back after burying the bodies. He gets back, he realizes he has dirt and blood on his hands, so he goes over to a nearby, a nearby barrel of water that basically they just have there. No, wait, on the way he found a stream, He found a stream washed off his hands. And he can already feel just hungry for food. Hungry. So he just walks back, and when he gets back to Haas Village and everything else, like, they have food ready for him. And he was like, hello? Is everyone awake? His sister Lily and father are, everyone else is awake. They're like, Asta, we've been waiting for you. He was like, sorry guys, training. They realize she's not buff anymore. They ask, what happened? He was like, I don't know. I was knocked out. I heard screaming. I saw something for a few minutes and then knocked out. Like, he doesn't know anything else. And he woke up so different. His body feels a lot more lighter, stronger even too. But he doesn't understand why, so. And he's thinking, how am I able to walk into a church so normally? What the hell? Is it because I was born human here? That's why? But I was turned. Wait a minute. Yeah, I can get in contact with God with the mirror. I don't even have it though no more. Crap. So, yeah. So basically, he's thinking he's gonna get blood when Sister Lily actually forced him to eat. And he's still, he's eating it. And then, after a while, he's full. He's thinking to himself, wait, so I don't have to drink blood? I mean, I still crave it, but I don't have to drink it? So I can actually be humanish? Yes! Okay, so that means no one's gonna try to kill me if their hunters are here. I mean, I have heard rumors there have been some imaginary guild that hunts vampires. Whew. Safe on that one. So yeah. So basically that night, an angel comes to Dracula, and, well, he goes, who are you, angel? He was like, I am a messenger from God himself for you. God wanted me to give you this, and it's a scroll. Basically, when he opens it, it plays audio log, but a message from God, basically. He says, Dracula, I tweaked your abilities a bit. I got rid of the sun weakness. I got rid of your blood craving weakness. He was like, and Drac was like, uh, sure, weakness. It's like, you are allowed to drink blood, but you had no magic at first, so let's just say you still don't have your, well, magic that you're born in that world with because you were magicless. Also, you still have your vampiric magic, but you'll need a grimoire for that, which you will get now because you're a vampire now. But you are not from the world before or that world's sort of vampire. You still have your abilities from your previous lives as the king of vampires, and you are not, but you are a newborn vampire in that world with a highly way more skilled in strength. You see, you still have your same strength abilities as the king of vampires, but you cannot summon your castle. You can summon the library of your castle and some things of it, just not the castle itself. Which Drake is like, okay. The transformations, as you know, last night are, still there. The Eternal Darkness, your summon of enemy, you're basically able to use the Cipher of Death. It's all there. Don't worry. As Asta, or should I say, Dracula's like, alright. But my abilities are slightly weakened? Then he realizes his audio log and then so he goes, yes! Yes it is. They're slightly weakened. He's like, wait, you're talking to me physically? He's like, yes. Your look. Anyways. Alright. You were able to have a normal life. Take it. You already learned from your mistake. Also, your wife is reincarnated too with you. Good luck. As in, the scroll just goes up in flames before he can ask any questions else, and the angel already left. So he's like, good to know. Oh god, I'm gonna have such a hard time. She remembers, she's anything back to my old self. It's a good thing this cloak, I guess part of a cloak is helping me. I don't know what it is. So yeah. So, I mean, he doesn't need to sleep. Not long. He only sleeps for about 4 hours and he's up, fully awake. And then goes back to his normal routine not to have any suspicion. So yeah. So, basically, vampire hunters come about soon. They heard rumors about a vampire going to Hodge Village, so they're on their way. But we're going to the Grimoire ceremony. I'm gonna have to pause now because I need to eat. Alright, I'm back, everyone. So, yeah, so we're going over to it. We're having him go with the canon. But, everyone has noticed Asta's personality has somewhat changed. His manner of speak, his walk, his attitude. Well, actually, his attitude is somewhat different. Not different. He's actually still yelling a lot. I mean, to be honest, that's his personality. Just because he has his old memories does not mean he has his old personality. I mean, he still has that, how dare you deny my, word or, my word. I am your king, blah, blah, blah. Still, that, but that kind, gentle heart that we were seeing in the Castlevania series. On top of the Netflix series. So, yeah. There's still that. So, basically, as everyone's getting their grimoire, all of a sudden gets his 4-leaf grimoire and such. Everyone's shocked. But then all of a sudden, everyone sees Asta's not getting one, and before the grimoire ceremony, old man could even say, alright, well, that is, right when he says, alright, as I just hear something just, not the sound of, anything boom, but just something just glowing red flows out of the shelf and just floats down to Asta. Everyone can see it's black and red. Energy's coming off it, like a blood red. As the design is looking like a goth, it's looking like, imagine that a grimoire has a gothic look to it. Even has cobwebs, looking at fangs on their claws marks. Just something that's came out of a horror movie. Kind of gothic look. It's just right there in front of him. As everyone's shocked, they see the clover, which they're shocked about. They go, a 6? What the hell? How come there's a 6 clover? Has anyone ever heard of this? No one knows of this. Only vampire hunters know about the 6 clover. And they know about devils too. Asta grabs it, and then all of a sudden he hears a pop-up. Like, he sees a pop-up screen, and it's a message. AKA from God. A message from God saying, oh, here's a system, the skills you have. It'll be a lot more easier for you to know, like, how strong they will be, because you have to train with them. He's like, I don't know what a system is, but I'll probably figure it out. Yes, I am definitely giving him like a little pop-up screen where his stat is like solo leveling, but no, he ain't gonna go into dungeon. Actually, he may go into some dungeons, but that'll be because he needs to not level up. He doesn't have no level up thing. He has, his own strength and such. He has to train, but he does, see what spells he'll get. It's more of a magic one, stats. It's more of a magic, basically, see from this world he can get. So when everyone just sees him take the Grimoire, he hears a voice saying like, hello there again, Dracula. I see your name is not Dracula, and it is. Asta. Maybe I can call you Asta Dracul. He's like, what the? He goes, don't look around. I'm talking to your head. I'm, how can I say? In this world, from what I can see from your memories, they have little spirits to help them out, to guide them. Some are willing to have power, others are want more bloodshed and craving, others just want to live in peace. But my master, basically one I was being used by, was the more of the kill people to survive and have fun while doing it. So, I like to say, this is the first time meeting you, so thank you, and for making him dead and all. And he goes like, what's your name then? He goes, doesn't matter. Just know that you'll find out eventually. Like he would, but if he lived long enough, or he can impress me. Which he's like, so I'll have to impress you. She goes, This book has some unique traits now because of what I did to it, and along with you. It seems that most of your abilities are, you already have them because you were born with them but sealed. So the normal what vampires have in this world you won't have. I don't think I'll be more of a, just the normal things where vampires have magical spells that they, steal from humans. Which he's about to say out loud, but he remembers what she said. She's in his head. So she goes, so yes, what do you mean? As she just says, vampires in this world drink mana and blood. They have a choice to, have. So, from your, basically, blood stealing, and when you use people's blood a lot more quicker, you can store mana that way. Or blood, either way. It's like, sort of like, interesting. Alright. Thank you. I must go before anyone asks me what's this book. He's walking out with the book, it's like, asking him questions, but then all of a sudden he just teleports out of there. Everyone's kind of shocked by this, including But he's teleporting on top of the rooftop, and he goes like, he's thinking in his head, can you come out of the book at all? She goes, just allow me to. As, when the book opens up, some, energy comes off of it, and someone flows out of that energy, basically. And imagine it's a guide, so I'm going with more of a little fairy look. She's basically, from Gus, there's like this fairy that was always following him around, I think. Yeah, imagine something like that. She has black hair, bloodshot, blood red eyes. Basically, just like a guide for vampires. And she goes, "Hello," and he's like, "Hi." So you're like a summon? She goes, "Mm-hmm. I mean, since I'm out now, I'll be out forever. I mean, I trust you enough." It's like, okay. So what's so special about this book then that you were reformed with it? She goes, "Oh, it has a certain thing, like a sword that negates all magic. I think it was called anti-magic." And he was like, "That seems useful." And God, I mean, not God, but, Dracula's just like, "Okay, that's kind of weird and convenient. Is this a plan from God? Doesn't matter. This is my punishment. My powers are weakened. I still can probably summon the dead." And, as she can see the screen that, Dracula has, and she asks if, he can look through it with him. So he nods to see the magic skill section. She sees that he has a few of them, but they're already maxed out, and then that they're saying, like, magics he can copy and lose, and then he says magics that he's gained, which she's interested by it. And then they see, well, not inventory, just that, list of magic stuff, but it's just like his abilities. She just jaw dropped. She's just like, "That's impressive," and he was like, "Thank you." So, well, the whole entire thing with the, royals happened, and with being them, and then the whole entire thing with the chain mage happened. And then Asta, basically, when the guy grabs his his book, he just jumps down, making a little crater where he landed. And, well, the guy is shocked by this, as he, the book's slowing down to him, and the anti-magic sword does come out, which, he's holding it with ease. And just because he already had some magical abilities, the anti-magic demon thought his magic was going to get drained. No, it's not getting drained, which he's trying to shot. And, Dracula holds up the sword saying, "Give him his book, his grimoire back, and I'll let you live. Understand me?" And, well, the chain mage laughs, says, "What you gonna do about it?" As well, the chains go at Asta. He just slashes him like normal. The guy is shocked, as then he just, does all her thing where he just dashes, runs forward at the guy, hits him, sends him flying into a wall, knocking him out. I mean, come on, we're not gonna be like the whole entire scene where he gets beat up. This is Dracula we're talking about here. But anyways, so yeah, the dude was knocked out completely. Was like kind of shocked by this, and he goes, "Asta, how are you?" He was like, the book's, the sword's going inside the book. He was like, "Come on, let's go." Sister Lily and father will be kind of shocked. And he's just like, "Yeah." So they go, and, well, they're shocked to see even Asta has a, grimoire. They have a month of training, both Sister Lily and father say. And so yeah, so basically what happens is they don't know what the sixth grimoire is, but he wants to test out what he can do. So he needs to understand what they meant by copy magic. So he thinks he can copy magic by blood or mana. So he looks at Sister Lily, and he does talk to her. He tells her the truth, what she's shocked by, and he goes, "Yeah. I don't know how this is gonna work, but I can, at least from what I know and from what I can see on a little things, that I can copy magic. So, I don't know if it's by blood alone or magic in general. So, can I, well, this is awkward to say." She does, and yeah, it is. So what happens is though, um, how this Sister Lily says she'll think about it. He does not, and he's thinking it'll be bad if he does drink her blood because she's a nun and all. So well, he doesn't want to do it, but then all of a sudden something just flies like hits him in the forehead, and it says, "Don't worry, she's fine. Just drink. You'll just drink her mana." He's like, "Well, that's convenient." He looks around and he goes like, "Wait a minute." He looks up. When he looks back down, the rock just disappeared with a note on it. So after a couple hours of him training, Sister Lily finds where he's just training, and she just says, go ahead. In which, well, he does ask his helper. He goes like, helper? He goes, yes. How am I able to? She goes, oh, open up your grimoire. When he does, he opens a page. He sees vampiric magic, vampiric mana drain. Huh. How do I? She goes, oh, just, it'll be on your hand. He's like, oh, so it'll be like absorbed into my hand, and then I just bite it down and then drink it that way. She goes, mm-hmm. So what he does is he says vampiric magic, mana drain, as which then he puts his hand on her shoulder, and he's thinking about how much he wants to take. He only takes a little bit of it, and when he does, it's a little thing like a little marble size, and then it just grows exponentially. He was like, "What the?" She goes, "Oh, no matter how much mana the person you take, the mana will grow exponentially to the size of the user that needs it." He's like, to fully use the mana. It's like, okay. So he just bites down into it and just starts, drinking it. And well, and he goes like, then a new page opens up, and then a new thing, appears, water magic. So he's like, let's see what this can do. And so he says, he says vampiric magic, magic, anti-water. In which then a black form of water shoots out from Asta's, hand. Like, it was like a miniature size. So pretend it's like from a sprinkler, it just shoots out, and it just goes right through a bone of the, demon. And then he holds both his hands together and shoots it out. And it was like, interesting. Seems like I can, well, the more I use it, the more I'll learn from it. So she's like, that's amazing. He was like, of course it is. I never even knew I could even do this in this world. This is very interesting indeed. Thank you, Sister Lily. You're the best. And he smiles, and he still has that Asta smile that, well, she knows. So she knows he's still there. So yeah, so after him training, he asks, if he can, copy his magic. Basically. And then he, practices with these two magic for a month. And he even learned swordsmanship from the same guy, but it turns out he was better than the swords guy with magical weapons. But still, it's impressive that he can do this. So, he fully mastered his water magic. He even got maybe a few new spells like water healing, anti-water, anti-magic, anti-water healing, anti-dragon shot. It's just a whole lot of different things he can use with water. He has way more fluent with it, including the wind magic. He only gets 3 skills with it. 1 for defense, 1 for long range, and 1 for healing. With wind magic, he gets long range close combat, and another one for AoE attack. Pausing again. Back on. So yeah. So, like in canon, they would travel after their training's done, and they get to the Magic Knight, capital. I mean, not Magic Knight capital, the capital, the Clover Kingdom capital. And well, and this I even forgot to mention, also grew to be about half of well, to be at least at Yuno's head height. His head is at Yuno's head. So, I mean, they're both the same height. Everyone's just like, he had to get some new clothes quickly because he was growing really fast. Surprised everyone. And yeah, his hair hasn't grown out. It's still the same, but he's thinking about letting it grow. So, basically, after this, after they get there, they still say the exact same thing. Like, can't believe we made it here. And, about how, said he'll let Asta live in there, and, everyone else from the village, like, from the church. And Asta says exactly the same thing. They both smile at each other. And he does saying, like, I can't believe in your different life you're such a, he goes, monster. I know. And this is my punishment. I deserve it after all, I'm not going to do the same mistake twice. I won't. I nearly killed my own son because of my revenge. Me and my wife's very own son. I won't do that again. As nods and he goes like, hey, you got a new life. It ain't great. I mean, well, until you got your vampiric abilities back, and the whole entire drinking blood thing doesn't need to happen no more. It's like, it can, but I haven't craving blood, but I won't go into a blood frenzy to feed my hunger, so it still provides me with strength. So he goes like, so wait, you'll only drink blood from somebody if I can fully trust them and they fully trust me, and only will be from the one I love. Or if it's absolutely necessary to survive, that is. And he nods, so after that, they get into the capital. Everyone goes to camp, but everyone's looking at him, and I did mention the vampire hunters were going to be there. Yeah, they just missed him. So, but they've been on their tail. They heard about someone has 6 Grimoire, and they basically use some magic to boost themselves. So, when Asta does, go around looking with they get into the whole time magic knife thing. Everyone's shocked that he has 6 Grimoire. And when he told the captains heard about this because they know about vampires, they're even shocked too. So, I mean, Yami wasn't there yet. So when the magical birds are there, they still swarm around him. Because his magic he has originally, and he has anti-magic. This is all anti-magic, so there is it's vampiric anti-magic now. So he doesn't, no one can sense it. He's still magicless. And the birds just swarm him, but the birds are just not. He tells them, I can only have a few of you to stay on, to be near me. I'm sorry, so do you mind if a few of you go flying off? So when they're all crowded around him, he didn't, swarm around, but Yami's seen him. And then all of a sudden the birds just fly away. As only around 4 or 5 of them are staying there. And one of them is Nero. And, well, he does chuckle at this. He goes like, anti-magic birds. They're quite a pest if you don't have any, but they're quite adorable. As Yami goes like, hey, kid, how do you do that? He goes, oh? How did I get them to leave me alone since... He goes, yeah. He goes, simply asked them. He was like, what? He goes, yes, I talked to them. I asked them would they leave me alone. And, well, they were happy to do so. It's like, well, that's, weird. I know. But anyways, you look like a magic knight captain, or... Yes, by the amount of magic you have. Just because, he could sense magic. I mean, it's Dracula. He's using his senses as a vampire, so he could, So he was like, impressive, kid. He was like, thank you. Anyways, Yami doesn't do the same thing in canon. He leaves him alone. And, well, that happens. So, the magic... Not... Well, the vampire hunters get there. They're like, I heard that they were, trying to get into the Magic Knights. That thing was trying to get into Magic Knights. So basically, they are there. They're seeing like everything happening. The the whole entire ceremony thing will happen. Like them like getting the magic brooms and such. And Asta just looks at the broom and says, and tries to fly with it. Can't. It's like which everyone's confused along with the vampire hunters. He's just trying to, but he can't. So he just asks. So he's just like, he said he can fly, but would be, well, kind of a bother for him if people just saw them. I saw how he how he flies, which the Magic Knights captains don't want anyone to freak out, because it's supposed to be a secret. Which, they're kind of shocked that he ain't killing no one, and he's in the sun. Which, they don't understand it. Usually, they have a cloak that that would like cover them from the sun, and that's their magic. That's their sun resistance. But so everything goes with creation. He just uses water to create something, and then basically with the whole entire targets, he just used hellfire to shoot just froze that at the target, destroying it completely, which shocks everyone. Now to the firing portion. It's going to still be Seke because he thinks this is a weird sort of magic he has. If it can't be flown with brooms, it has to be a lower one. So what happens is this. He does the same thing in canon with Asta, where they are kind of shocked that he ain't like trying to rip out his neck with his teeth. As when the Grim, he gets pissed off because he still has the same attitude. He works hard to get where he wants and will achieve his dream that way. So when he basically grabs a sword out, his eyes are glowing red, and like the white. Everything when his white goes black and they see the red eyes. Everyone, Seke is shot, and because all the blood is being put on him, even the Magic Knight captains and the hunters can feel it. As he grabs his sword, just dashes forward with the anti-magic, the demon slayer sword, and it cuts through the magic lane cannon. And it makes a bigger crater than it did in canon. And then, everything, his eyes goes back to normal. And then basically he puts on, his shoulder, goes like, and he gives actually a speech saying like, doesn't matter if you want to slack off. That's fine by me. But I'm gonna, achieve my dream and become the Wizard King. In which everyone is shocked by. I do have to leave early, so I'm gonna be rushing this a little bit. I apologize, so yeah. So, anyways, what happens is this. Everything, everyone's kind of shocked by this, including the hunters. So when they jump down, they have, their basically swords pointing at Asta, and he just says, oh? So you're the hunters. Interesting. You're not the normal ones I remember. Well, the Belmonts were destroyed a long time ago. Are you Belmonts? Or at least have the last name Belmont. Which are like, no. What's a Belmont? It was like, a group of hunters of the supernatural, werewolves, ghouls, goblins, trolls, vampires. Those. And he's like, no. We're just regular hunters. Or Magic Knights. It's like, oh. Well then. He puts away his sword. He was like, I have not killed a single human. I was turned only a couple months ago. And I can feed on human food. So I don't think you have anything to worry about. in which the vampire hunter's like, what? Impossible. Which then, comes over, he's like, it's true. He's able to eat human food and no one's ever missed from the village. Hold on. Alright, as I was saying, confirmed that no one has went missing in the village and no one has been dead or found dead. So they do ask him for questioning later, as he says, of course, anything to not die again. In which they're like, huh? They're like, never mind. But he does say, I do have to get my, going to the Magic Knights. Says, they all, as Julius is there, he says, he does, tell these hunters, saying, he's fully welcome to the Magic Knights, whoever's chosen him. And so, after that, while the fight's going on, they do question him. They're like, okay, when did you first become a vampire? He goes, in this life or the last one? Like, huh? He was like, well, I was a vampire in my previous life. My name was Dracula, the king of vampires. I made the world suffer for what they did to my wife. So, I mass murdered a whole bunch of people. But I went to hell more than once. I've kept on being revived. Many more people have died to me. And, well. So, yeah, anyways. That's all you need to know. And, are you going to? I was like, no, I'm not planning on it. I learned from my mistakes already. I will not do everything I can. Basically, my magic, if you want to see my Grimoire, here. Actually shows them. And the specific magic that they would know vampires to have in this world is, it's different from what he has. He doesn't have none of their, abilities or magics, but just different magics. He was like, I'm able to copy and use the magic and keep them fully. I only need to have a little bit of that magic to copy it. That's even more shot to them. And they said they're going to keep an eye on him. So, they'll have someone go with him and keep an eye on him. No. In this one, technically, you'll find out who's a vampire hunter. As, well, afterwards, after Asta leaves, Silva from the, Silver, hold on. Alright, so, basically, Nozel Silva comes, basically to them. He was like, so, do you need somebody to be in the Magic Knight group that he'll choose? And they nod yes. Your family has helped us out, one of them said, for many years. Do you think you can? He does nod. He says he has a sister that basically her magic ain't good. So yeah. Okay, that was my dad telling me we have to go. But anyway, so let me just sum it up. Actually, no, not sum it up. But here we go. So basically, they asked who. Her name is Noelle. So she can go over there to whoever Magic Knight group that he chosen. So after that, they start choosing. Yuno goes in the same one. Asta goes in the same one. And, well, since he never ate, hold on. Never mind. Thought I heard my dad. But since he never eats, he never goes, to the bathroom, which they just leave right away. And, well, because of him, he does tell Yami his abilities and such, which he's even shocked by. He's like, well, kid, you really are a monster. I like you already. He goes, thank you, Captain. It's like, alright then, come on. So they leave, Noelle was already sent there. So basically the whole entire thing with Mad know what happened. The challenges, the whole entire thing, and he even gave him the Magic Knight cloak. Well, whole thing. So yeah. And Noelle was seeing him, she goes, so, he's a vampire. My superiors, along with my brother, said he's no ordinary one. The king of one. There's only supposed to be one king of vampires here. How's there a second one? I'll have to keep an eye on him, and if needed, I'll kill him. But he looks familiar somehow. Never mind. And that's where I'm going to end it off, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed this what if. It took me a while to think of this. I'm sorry. So I'm gonna have to go now, everyone. You guys have a nice day, night, wherever you are. Be safe, everyone, and bye.